If you have your phone, please put it on silent. And if you're here to speak, please go ahead and fill out a card. Remember, if you do get up here, it's not necessarily a back and forth. We're just gonna listen to your concerns, and hopefully, we can either meet afterwards or we can meet tomorrow about your concerns. Um, we're gonna go ahead and declare quorum. Councilman Huerta's a few minutes late, so if everybody could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. All right. We are going to be talking we will be discussing some job openings that we have. So we will be probably going into executive session during that time. Again, if you want to stick around, I hope you do. So we don't have any conflicts of interest here. So we're going to move on. Benny, you want to come on up? Yes, sir. Come on.
Turn it on. Is that good? Testing 1, 2, 3. Honorable Mayor, Council, thank you so much for allowing me to speak real quick. I'm going to put on 2 hats real quick, okay? My first hat is I'm here on behalf of Parker ISG just to encourage you guys to get the paperwork back over to us so that we can move forward with the water project that was already approved by the council. And I think we were just waiting on some signatures from Sal, but in the transition, they got held up a little bit. As soon as we get that paperwork back, we're gonna move forward with planning meetings with you guys and ladies and gentlemen, and then we'll probably begin construction shortly after that on the things that we need to fix here in the water infrastructure system. Okay, so hat number 2, all right? My name is Dave Fuentes, Mayor Pro Tem City of Beeville. I'm also the president of the Region 11 TML, which, Odem is a member of our TML district. And I'm here to congratulate Alderman Councilman Jesse Falcon on receiving his certified municipal official designation for the year 2025. And I just want everyone to know, the citizens too. Jesse, I'm gonna call him Jesse because he's a friend of mine. Mr. Falcon right here, he's one of 29 city council members across the entire state of Texas that has received this designation. It's a very, very special designation. It's something that takes a lot of his personal time and effort to get done. He has to go to many classes and learn about all kinds of different things to become a better legislator here in this community. So on behalf of Region 11, Jesse, I want to congratulate you. And I want to thank you too, because you have encouraged me over the years, the 9 years I've been a council member in Beeville. You've encouraged me to do mine as well. And I wouldn't have been able to do it without your encouragement and mentorship.
Congratulations, you too.
So thank you. And I want to thank you just for your leadership in this community and with TML Region 11. It's very important that people understand what you've done. It's a very, very big accomplishment. And I just want to thank you.
Thank you.
On behalf of Region 11 and the city of Odem too. So if you mind, just give a round of applause. Thank you so much. That's all I got, Mayor. Thank you all so much.
All right, thank you. So I want to just adding to that, a lot of y'all don't see a lot of things that go on behind the scenes, but Jesse has been involved with TML, the San Pat Economic Development Corporation also, and he does a lot behind the scenes to represent our city and our community, and he does an amazing job. I mean, he's actually had to go up and speak in front of hundreds of people at TML conferences, and I don't know how he does it because I get a little nervous just speaking to a few of our residents here. So I also want to thank you for all the hard work you do, and we really appreciate the way you represent us out there. Thank you. All right, Ms. Gonzalez, you want to come on up and so you can.
Mayor and members of the council. My name is Hillary Gonzalez, and I'm here to speak about an issue that's affecting student families in Odem, the growing problem of stray dogs in our community. This isn't just a nuisance anymore, it's becoming dangerous. Just this past Saturday, 3 stray dogs attacked my little dog Bo right in front of my parents' house. It was brutal. I can still see the attack in my mind, the fear, the helplessness. My dog did not deserve that. None of the other pets in this town who have been hurt or killed by these same dogs deserve that either. And yet, when people call for help, we keep getting told the same thing. Call Sam, Tricia, animal control. And they keep telling us there's nothing that they can do, that it's a city problem. Well, that's an answer that's no longer acceptable. Our community deserves better. The city of Odem already has ordinances in place to protect its citizens and animals. City Ordinance Section 8-116 clearly states that it's unlawful for an owner to fail to control their animals and prevent them from becoming a public nuisance. It even defines nuisance as frequently attacking other domestic animals, trespassing, and causing damage, exactly what these stray dogs are doing. Section 8-143 says no dog licensed or not shall be allowed to run at large. If the owner is unknown, the dog should be taken and impounded. The law is very clear. What's missing is enforcement. And there's more. Under the Texas Administration Code, Section 169.22, anyone who feeds, shelters, harbors, or controls an animal is considered its custodian. That means if someone's consistently feeding these stray dogs, they can actually be held legally responsible for these dogs' actions, including attacks or damage. We can't keep shrugging our shoulders and passing the responsibility along. These are our neighborhoods, our pets, our children playing outside. What are we going to wait for an actual child to get bitten or seriously hurt? You were elected to protect this community. I truly believe that you care about them. And now it's time to do more than words. We need action. Enforcing these ordinances that we already have. Work with the animal control or neighboring cities if needed. Let's find a real lasting solution before something worse happens, because the statement "there is nothing that we can do" is not a solution. So please let Bo's story and the heartbreak of every other family who's enduring this pain be the moment for Odem that finally says enough. We cannot wait another day. Our town must become a place where everyone is safe, humans and animals alike. Bo wasn't just my dog. He was my heart and my baby, and I will not stay silent until justice is served for him and every other pet that's been killed or hurt. The time is to act now. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else who wants to speak, or before we move on?
I'm Jenny. Just want to ask you for that. Again, thank you for allowing us to speak today. Jennifer Gonzalez and Mom Ford. I just, as a taxpayer here, I know that part of that we pay taxes for animal control. And I just really hope that this is an action on item that y'all take into consideration in your next board meeting, because something needs to be done. So I do appreciate, for reaching out, and just hope, again, I've had a lot of calls from people outside saying we've already addressed that, we've already told the city. So I'm just like, I'm done hearing words, or like, I really want that action behind the word to stand. Just no other dog or like Hillary mentioned, an infant next to be attacked by them. I feel really bad also for those strays, because they had owners at one time that just left them and abandoned them. They're just trying to survive. And no animal, like, I just want something done. Everyone says, oh, you can just kill them, poison them, if they're your property, but just like I didn't think pork bulls deserve that, neither do those animals. I mean, I know they maybe have to sleep, they're killing. And get it picked up and put their ordinance in place and to follow them. I just can't, and we won't stay silent. We need it. We need justice done, and Our poor babies should not have deserved that, and those animals starving out there need to be picked up. They had owners, and somebody's feeding them, they need to be held responsible too. That was a comment that was made. I don't have actual facts in front of me to prove it, but was a comment that there are people feeding these dogs. So then they become responsible and owners of it, and we need to put a stop to that. So thank you again for your time.
Thank you.
Mayor, just for information, we do have an interlocal agreement with San Patricio. In section 2, it says that if those dogs are in the school area, we can do something about it. So you might want to pursue that through section 2 on the interlocal agreement. I just read that. So if you see the dogs around the school, they can do something about it.
Thank you so much. And I do know how you feel. And I've had the unfortunate of losing one of my pets a few years ago. He was mauled as well. And I guess, and this is no excuse, the biggest problem is we have nowhere to put them, and the contracts that we used to have with other cities, they have their own issues. But I have reached out. I'm reaching out to the county to see if we can maybe we can trap them, and if they'll come and get them. We have identified the dogs that were responsible. So if we can trap them, the only thing that I'm asking, and I'm kind of reaching out to the citizens out there that are hopefully watching, is that if we do set traps, or the county does come and set traps, and we catch a dog, please don't release them, because that's happened before in the past where we've set traps at Stripes to catch some dogs that were hanging out there. They call us that there's a dog in the trap. Then when we go over there, the county shows up, the dog is no longer there. Somebody let them out. So I'm speaking to, the citizens out there that may be listening. Please, if you see traps, you see a dog trapped in it, call City Hall, but please don't let them loose, because that defeats the purpose. So thank y'all again for coming. I'm so sorry that you guys had to endure that.
I have it right now outside in the corner. This heads up for anybody. Those dogs that attacked, they're right there, right now.
Okay.
Right here in the corner. So I'm saying, like, it's an issue. People want to shoot. We don't carry guns. What happens if they shoot an innocent person?
Exactly.
And think about all this concept. It's gonna get bigger than what before this.
Yeah.
Y'all need to do something about it, because it's the safety of the citizens now.
Yeah.
Everybody's involved. It's not just
Sure.
dogs, it's humans.
Yeah, and we don't want people shooting at
No.
the dogs, please, because bullets sometimes end up in other places, and we don't want somebody hurt or injured or property damage. So again, thank y'all for coming in. I'll stay in touch with you. Thank you.
Mayor, are y'all aware of the ones that are at the post office, of all the strays that are at the post office?
That's actually part of the pack that's been running around together.
Yeah,
So
I'm not, well, no, but there's even more. I mean, we had one come into my yard just like an hour ago.
no
And it
problem.
came into the yard, so we know where there's a hole, but it actually, and we had some that attacked the chickens. But I know that at the post office, I've seen several people that are actually like, to get away with them. And
Right.
you're doing all kinds of stuff, but I wasn't aware if y'all were aware. Of
Yeah.
all the ones that are right there. I know it's Stripes, and then right here at the post office, and, they ended up getting the people there too. And like I said, this one came, my son was in the backyard, and it came in the backyard.
Yeah, I think somebody sent some photos to me today about that as well. So, but we're going to try to, hopefully work with the county and maybe work with other cities so we can trap them and hopefully take them, and they can be properly euthanized if they need to be. I mean, but we will definitely keep you guys informed through our Facebook page, through my Facebook page, and see how we can move forward to kind of address this, because it's becoming a big problem. Thank you. We're going to move on to item 2, non-action items, the council report for Texas Municipal League. We had several of us went to the Texas Municipal League conference this past week. It was a really good conference. There was a lot of information. There was some legislative information that was passed down. So, I mean, I want to give Councilman Dominguez, you were there. Do you want to share kind of anything about your experience out there?
I think the biggest thing is the water situation. I think a lot of cities, or one time you brought a company out here to do well waters, but because of the cost, we weren't able to do it. But a lot of smaller cities are looking at it.
Mhm.
And I think that that's going to be something that we really need to look at. And then the other thing is our water structure and our function of the water. That needs to be really, really looked at in priority. Everybody's doing the same thing. All cities are running to the same problems we are.
Yeah.
It's not any different, just the way you handle it and the way you're going about it. You're looking at moving money from different locations to be able to take care of water. They're not investing as much in the roads as they are to kind of concentrate more on the water. But I think it was pretty interesting. A lot of stuff that was coming down.
Yeah.
Different things that they do differently. So
Councilman Papuan?
Well, Benny stole my thunder. Thanks a lot, Benny. But him and I were recognized out of there's 3,500 people there, and we got put on the screen right away with that picture that up there, which I was surprised. You were probably surprised too.
Camera shot.
Yeah. So that was the highlight. A lot of people CMO. Also, I attended the Small City Advisory Committee, belong to that. And basically, we're trying to work on cities like for financial stuff, like boot camp was one. Now we're trying to get other things that little cities don't have that need, like somebody could help Betsy with her financing. So we're working on that. I moderated a TDM, which is what's TDM? Texas?
Texas Department of Emergency Management.
I learned a lot on that. So I monitored. You also, CMOs, we had to monitor different kind of sessions. What was your session?
Pretty much how to communicate with the public, which I'm very poor at sometimes.
So
You're honest. You're,
so basically I did, that was just my day. And then did a little bit of the exhibits. I wish I had more time, but I did. Sonny was there Wednesday. But that was very interesting. It was good conference.
anyway.
Yeah. Good conference.
It was, and I was able to sit in on the legislative session. There was a lot of information that was being shared. A lot of it had to do, obviously, with the water issues. And there are some. There was a bill that was passed, the last legislation, which will allow what's called underserved communities like ours. We would be considered to actually reach out for grants or even kind of what's it called when you share the cost sharing grants from the state. I think the state's put away something in the billions of dollars to help underserved communities like ours and Beeville and the rest of us, because we are all struggling with the water issue. So there's going to be some money there. I think we will be able to apply for some of those grants this month, starting in November. I was able to meet with one of the Senator Hinojos' chief of staff while I was there, and they hired some interns or brought in some interns that have a lot of experience dealing with grants. So I told them we don't have a grant writer, so they're going to be able. They said that they could help us, get the paperwork together. So hopefully, like Councilman Domingo said, one of the things that I have our maintenance guys doing right now is finding the water leaks. I mean, they've been out there all last week, and they started this week the same, addressing water leaks, because we can't afford to be losing water to these small leaks that have been ongoing for a long period of time. So that was a real good, and it was a full house. They talk a lot about the bigger cities, so after a while you kind of start to like, okay, this doesn't affect me, so I think I'm going to get up and go grab something to eat or something. But that was pretty good, and I think, like Councilman Dominguez said, there was a good talk about the different cities and what they're going through as far as the water issue. So we're not alone, but we do have to find ways to, one, address some of the water leaks that we have and make sure that we address them immediately so we're not losing water. The other thing that they talked about was actual rebates to customers who use less water. If you use less than so many thousands of gallons, the city can give a rebate. So we're going to look at that. I'll probably sit down with our attorney to see legally how we may be able to go about that to help, so people who don't use a whole lot of water can get some kind of a return for it. So there's a lot of things out there that we're going to hopefully be looking for over the next few years. But it does cost money. So hopefully we'll be able to apply for some of these grants and, and get some help from the state so we can address them. So, go ahead, sir.
Also, I was, on that note, I just kind of just surveyed a bunch of cities and most everybody's on wells. Are y'all on wells, Vinny?
We're starting to drill.
Most everybody I talked to is on wells.
Yeah.
So that was a big thing. Everybody's on wells.
I think our biggest problem when we came in is we were gonna have to fork up some money.
Yeah.
And there was no guarantee.
Yeah.
So that was the
Yeah,
problem.
so it was a,
But apparently there is ways out there that you can get it. Just gonna take some work.
There's also,
now you can talk. Let him talk now.
that are on desal plants.
There you go. That's another one. There you
One of
go.
them is the city of Alice.
Yeah.
You know, they've had a desal plant and it works fine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they were talking to us about that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The water, situation, it's affecting it.
Sure.
And, yeah, so I think the main thing is going to be trying to get an engineering firm in here to kind of do some surveying and see where maybe we can actually, where there is water. Our engineer from Ardora, he said that we do have access to water here in Odem underground, but it's like 1,000 feet down or something like that. So, but we would have to have an engineering firm go and actually try to do, what do they call them, Benny, like tap wells or, yeah, some kind of a study to see, what the water quality is at what level. So, hopefully we'll be able to kind of, like Councilman Dominguez said, maybe move some money around that we might have been going to use for something else, just to do something like that. So we can see where, if we're able to kind of hopefully have our own water supply and not rely so much on Corpus. So,
Like the mayor said, the classes, yeah, they're more for bigger cities. But when you really drill down, you meet with the other cities, that's where you get a lot of information. Once you start asking them, well, how did y'all do this? How did you do that? So you get a lot of learning from that, so.
Side note, I was at county commissioners meeting yesterday and the city of Corpus Christi had, Wayne Januski, whatever, had a presentation. They're going to have one on, November 12th in Rockport City Council, November 18th in Sinton City Hall, and another one, November the 24th at the San Patricio Fairgrounds, if anybody's interested. It's a good presentation. So
Which is that?
that's Corpus Christi, they're trying to tap it into Evangela.
Okay.
So they're gonna have a bunch, it's just community engagement. So,
Is it the same one that they had with the commissioner?
Yeah.
The same.
yeah, so in case anybody wants to go, it's good presentation.
so we're going to go ahead and move on to quarterly reports. I don't see Stephanie here. Did you email Stephanie from EMS? Okay. Okay. So we're going to move on to the fire department. Chief Beltran, I know you guys have been busy. I can't tell you how proud I am to serve this community and you guys. I saw what you guys did in Gregory. I heard a lot of good things from people that were out there that worked side by side by you guys. So I really like to hear things like that when I hear you guys out there doing the work that you do and as volunteers, it's appreciated.
In this situation, I wish you would have gotten paid by the hour.
We all do.
They're underpaid. Can you mention how much y'all
So we get,
per fire?
per fire, we get $10, no matter how long we're there.
You can be there for 9,
Yeah.
10 hours.
Yeah.
Good evening, quarter reports from July, August, September. July, we had a total of 12 calls, 7 outside the county, 5 inside the city limits. I know y'all spoke about getting a little bit more detailed inside the city limits, so you got 1 trash fire, 1 dumpster, and 2 vehicle fires and 2 EMS assists for July. August, we had a total of 15, 10 outside in the county, 5 inside the city. We had 1 vehicle fire, 1 grass fire, 2 EMS, and a smoke alarm. September, we had a total of 6, 3 outside and 3 inside the city. We had 1 structure fire, 1 gas leak, and then 1 power line that was down. Right now, in this quarter, we're sitting at 14. Right now, we just yesterday we added 3 more. So we're up to 17 now. For last quarter, we were at 14. Expenses, fuel, for July, we had $78.60. For August, $466.93. September, we had $149.15. Engine 5, which is the new pumper that we received from Ingleside, we sent that in once we got it and did repairs that were needed. So that came out to $4,147. We also purchased bumper boots, which we hadn't purchased in a good minute. So we got 11 pairs for $4,169. So that kind of gave everybody pretty much new boots for structure fires and stuff. We had our FFMA dues that were $700. We sent our tanker to go get pump tested and get tested for NFPA standards. That was $580. We also had a purchase for a 9-inch saw blade, which is $322. Upcoming, which is for tanker, it did fail the certification, so we went ahead and we got a quote to do all the repairs on it, which came out to $12,784 or $48. They also included some repairs, minor repairs for engine 5. So that was $1,028. So that comes out of the $12,000 that we had for the tanker. That's going to be upcoming for this upcoming quarter.
Do we have money for that?
I was gonna ask you, budget-wise, do you know where you're at?
For the new fiscal year or previous? I don't know.
I think,
When it started last month,
Last month,
because
so I don't know where our budget is or where we're starting
Yeah.
with right now.
I can send you a copy of it. It
Okay.
should be online though.
because it doesn't carry over.
So,
No.
They don't use it.
so let me ask you something. Can you send us like once a quarter as far as where everybody is to budget?
Mhm.
So we can
And that's where-
know, so that way when like the fire department's up here, we'll know exactly,
Yeah.
can we do it or can't we do it? And what do we need to do to get it taken care of? So without those dollars, we can all sit up here and agree, but if there's no money, we can't do anything with it.
And it is all in the quarterly budget.
Right, but if we can get an up-to-date quarterly report where it tells us this to budget, this is where they're at to budget, they're halfway or they're 60% depleted, then we know there's gonna be a problem there. And then we can start looking for funds if we need it. And if not, they can tighten the belt up, but right now they don't know.
You're saying it's in here, that's what you're
Yeah.
saying.
It's in here. This-
Right,
And
but,
this would be for the full year. This wouldn't include anything. This didn't have the,
yeah,
So the new
Next
one's
year.
it's in
posted, the
here.
new one's posted online?
yeah, well, the whole budget, but you know, you would have to, you have to kind of go through it. So,
I know
Well,
it's
yeah.
there because I saw it, but what I'm asking, I don't know, how they feel. It's too much stuff. There's other stuff that we don't need. But I think they're just trying to say, per department, this is what they have left, or so far, you know.
We did that a couple of months ago.
It could be easily missed.
yeah, I think if we can do just like Betsy, we could just do like a spreadsheet with, we don't need the breakdown of all the different, what are they called? Different codes or anything, just the departments where they are as far as total budget, not necessarily,
And the check,
it's-
all the checks all the bills that were paid. Because that's how,
yeah,
I think we requested that.
yeah, I think we can do
You're
that.
doing it.
And that's how we got it last time.
Yeah, we'll try to,
And then what we had left for the year.
yeah, we'll try to get that to you. When it comes to vehicle repairs, I mean, like, and I think I've spoken to you before about
Yeah, that was
this, you know.
just to kind of be sure.
You know, we want to be able, I mean, because the equipment belongs to the city, you know, just like the maintenance equipment.
Right.
You know, and the budget that we allowed for you guys, for the fire department, sometimes is not enough to cover some of these repairs. So, you know, it's something that we've spoken about before, that it is a city-owned vehicle, and if a maintenance truck broke down, we pay, you know, or we have a fund just for vehicle maintenance. So we can also kind of look at that to try to pay for some of these large repairs that we need. Because just looking, you had, what, 4 vehicles out in Gregory?
We had 3.
3, and then you had 5 volunteers out
Yeah.
there. So, I mean, we have these, and I know just from the last few years that I've been here, how a lot of these cities depend on our big tanker. I mean, that's kind of one of the first things when I get the ring. A lot of times it's just bring the tanker. That's all they need, you know, and because they depend on it. So we got to make sure that that's running because a lot of the departments around the area depend on that and depend on y'all to be available. So.
The best thing was that all of our vehicles are running, so we're able to provide that apparatus power and still have apparatus here to cover the city. So like, we had to send 5 people over there, but we still have people in town to cover what we needed to do.
Yeah, because I know they had a fire in
Yeah.
Angelita and on the median,
Yeah.
just right after you guys were called out to Gregory. And that's like when I reached out to you, I said, hey, what's going on in Angelita? And you guys had already put it out. So, yeah, it's important that we have that equipment because just incidents like that. And I don't know if you got any call out on the hailstorm to go and help, but that was, I did see a lot of different departments were out there also helping with that because there was a lot of car accidents, people running off the road because their windshields were shattered. So,
Where does that stipend go? We get that stipend monthly, quarterly, or when?
Yearly.
Yearly?
mhm.
It's
And that-
about
that goes into the budget, right?
36,000.
Well, we share with them. Now we share with them. We don't take it all.
It should
we-
be coming.
Yeah, it should be.
It should be coming, right?
Yeah,
So-
we should be for this past year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because we have.
So that-
Yeah, I usually get it around November.
That's why when
So,
we look at their budget, that's why we did.
Yeah, so that might be,
can you zoom in higher? Shoot. It's at 96 and
So this column is the year, so this would be the whole year.
so that's where,
32,000 was,
What we
how much
spent.
we spent.
And I think we're at 75, we were budgeted for 75, right?
Mhm.
and that was this past fiscal year.
That was a past year.
Yes,
Right.
the year that just ended.
Yeah,
So he was under budget.
3,000 under budget.
And this is the, I guess, the unaudited version, so there really are some.
Well-
How many boots did you buy for the whole department?
We bought 11. So like, myself, I didn't need to, but we had people's boots that were clearly tearing. So it was about that time that we needed to start replacing them. One thing that I'm starting to look into, gear as well. I got the guy coming to fit 2 of our guys, and we're gonna use the money that we got for previous fundraisers. So that's something that's coming up too, because we haven't bought gear in maybe 8 or 10 years, so that expiration date's already coming up.
Yeah.
I applied for a grant from Forest Service maybe a year and a half ago, so I'm still waiting on that, and that's for 25 grand for PPE. So
well, there's another grant that's going to be going to be available here in November as well for volunteer fire departments for underserved communities as well. So we'll try to get somebody looking into that as well. We'll get with Homer, I guess, to see.
yeah, one thing I did find that Sal helped me find it for SFMA, they have a reimbursement for new recruit firefighters. It goes to a physical to new PPE, and they'll reimburse it. So I'm gonna get a hold of them and see what we can do. The 3 people that we did bring in, we had gear for them, which is good, but I mean, still it's old gear, so.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna look into that as well.
And I want to go ahead and address your question about the physicals. The chief had a question about, we have some of the new folks have already had physicals done because they work at Flint Hills and some of these other, and those physicals are a lot more extensive or than what we do for our guys. So instead of, spending money on them going and getting a physical, if their physical from the refinery or whatever is, less than a year old, we go ahead and accept that. I mean, most of them get physicals, pretty random. So
We've done that in the past, when Fire Chief David Nettie was there. We implemented that where, and like you said, it's more of an extensive.
Yeah, it's like several
not your
pages, like,
regular Physical,
No,
they
it's-
actually go more in detail.
yeah,
Yeah, there's just 35 pages compared to our 2 pages.
yeah. So,
But you still turn it in, get a copy and turn it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, do we turn it into the city? Because I just keep all the copies. They're sent to me and I keep all the copies. And
Well-
well, actually, I used to send them to Sal and then he would approve it or.
yeah,
I thought we kept the file here.
uh, I mean, I don't know, we keep files, employee files, for the fire. I think they kind of keep all the employee files, for them, so,
Volunteer, somebody, well, we used to for years, but they said one of the fire chiefs changed it, but it should be.
yeah, as long as you guys have everything you need, if you get an inspection or something done, and they want to look at their files, as long as you guys have your volunteer, because they're not technically employees of the city. I mean, there are volunteers, but as long as you have everything, for each individual volunteer,
And we find a place where if we had a new recruit and needed a physical.
oh, that's right, the other place closed down.
We used to use the Docu Center, but now they're closed.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, there's a lot of companies.
There's a lot
Yeah.
of companies out there, but it's just,
You want to call around.
yeah, we'll see at Well Med, which is right here in Sinton. Yeah. I don't know, was that Well Med? I don't remember. Or was it Concentra? Yeah, I think it was one of those. But we'll look into it.
See,
We'll
that's
try to
what
get
I'm
with
saying,
Concentra or,
The city would get involved with all those processes. And then they determine whether they want to accept the fireman or not. That's because of the bylaws. That's up to them.
Yeah.
But being that
For
the
the physical
insurance is
or-
done
Yeah,
through
for
the
physical.
city
Yeah.
and the
And
state,
the UA.
we do get involved in that.
yeah, because they would do a physical would get sent to the city and the bill, and then they would forward it to me. But at this time that we didn't have a place to do physicals, they provided a DOT for this year or like a physical for their work. Yeah.
and that,
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can
okay.
talk to
If you can
you
look
don't want
into-
nobody to get hurt in there. They have a water leak.
we just got it fixed.
Oh, you just got it fixed?
Yeah.
Oh, Brandon said, all right.
Yeah.
Good deal.
But no, it's fixed. But I see there, we have under building repairs, we have 5,000. So I think it's gonna start taking some work eventually.
Yeah.
But the last one was the roof. Remember, we fixed the
Yeah,
roof. The roof is
that
no
was the
problem, right?
biggest- That was the biggest problem.
So now it's the inside, right?
Oh, yeah.
There, that had already gotten wet, so.
Yeah.
Thank you. I really appreciate it, Chief. Thanks for everything you guys do. The judge isn't here. Epi, I mean, you want to just kind of give,
Other than, taking phone calls, what happens is that we haven't had court really. The way we've been processing cases, is that the girls will send me cases and say, okay, these attorneys have reached out and help me. And I'll reach out to them and work out the case. Send the, whatever the offer is, I'll send it over to Patricia and she'll draw it up and send it to the attorney and then, the case gets processed. And that's basically what we've been doing. We haven't had actual court itself. Quite a while.
Well, I know the building's been getting worked on also, but I was in there yesterday and I think that it's been, I mean, except for the water damage that's been getting fixed, and some of the floor damage as they were putting in the new plumbing and stuff, I didn't have any issues with the smell or anything in there, so, hopefully that's been addressed. And I know the judge didn't want to hold court because it was just hard to be in there for too long.
They did have a funky smell, you know. When I
So-
was there, I said, leave the doors open.
Yeah.
And just having people wait outside and just bring one up, one in at a time, so we could do it. But well, it was, man, it's something dying.
Yeah. No, I think it was some issues with the plumbing, wasn't vented correctly, but it looks like, last night I was in there and it's pretty good. So they hopefully they addressed it
Yeah, I
already.
think we had a contract, so somebody there to fix the floor, don't we? I think they had,
Um,
I think, did Sal go out to get some bids for the
Yeah, I
floor?
think they're working on it.
Huh? Yeah. Yeah, so.
They're doing the floor, or they're just doing the walls?
I think we're doing all of it.
Okay. Okay,
We're just waiting for the signature.
yeah. Betsy, we're gonna move on to you with the quarterly financial report, ma'am.
Before we can, Epi, are y'all having any, court cases on the code enforcement or no?
Not yet.
No citations or anything?
Not that I've dealt with. Maybe there's been some that have been issued and they take care of it up front, but none that I've dealt with.
I know the first few weeks he was here, Sal had said just, warn people, they need to take care of it by a certain date. He didn't want to just start out there, so, but, I'll talk to him, this week and tell him, what, if they haven't taken care of it, you've already warned them to go ahead and start serving citations to people.
It's gonna be here Thursday.
All right, ma'am.
So here's the through September 30th was the full year. It's showing that we're $629,000 surplus. There's a lot of stuff that has to be put in there. This is the unaudited version. And there is some stuff that needs to be rearranged. We've got to get with code on it. As far as system expenses that were paid from the general fund.
So has the new budget already been,
Street maintenance is also included in this one.
the new budget's already been put into the system and,
Haven't
well,
put it in.
oh, we're waiting for January, right? Okay, that's right.
Why do y'all wait till January? Why do y'all wait to put it in?
We'll wait closer to January. Because this is not.
Well, I
we're not
think,
Looking at that information right now.
Because what?
We're not looking at that, information.
well, it's mostly because not all the bills have been cleared yet in the system.
There's still stuff from the previous year still being.
So that by January, everything should be cleared and then they can start putting in. I mean, they're working with this year's numbers, right? They're working with this year's numbers.
Yes.
They just haven't been put in because we're still waiting for everything else to clear.
So,
So I can show y'all at the December meeting, I can have them in there and then you'll be able to see just the 1 month.
but this is not like a tab for 2025, and you can't create another tab for like 2026 to where you have the new budget in there already.
We can put it in there, we just haven't put it in there yet.
It's in there.
Huh?
It's in there.
It's not in code.
Previous, but
No, it's not in there.
No, that's 25, the
25,
proposed budget.
25, 26.
That's proposed budget though.
Yeah.
But it would be the budget that was in the, that was passed.
Can you, I mean, I guess, I, for the December meeting, if we can just get it, see what's still outstanding that hasn't been cleared from the previous fiscal year. And then maybe you can provide us a more, kind of a more detailed, okay, this is where we are for the new fiscal year, since we are, what is it, October 1st started the new fiscal year? So we're already a couple months in. So by December, everything should have cleared by December. I mean, if it doesn't, at least let us know, hey, this hasn't cleared, because I know that some of the bills last year were like, I think I had this discussion with you. Yeah, I had this discussion with her and Sal last year because they were posting two bills for one service in 1 month, and I'm like, how come these are both posted in October if one was for the previous month? Well, because they didn't get the invoice for the previous month, they got it late, so then they both posted on the same month. So it's just I guess a matter of waiting to make sure everything's kind of gone through. At least I know that's the issue we had last year with some of those bills that towards the end of the year that we were getting, and they were posting both on the same month. And then the previous month there was nothing, and then the next month there was two, and it kind of affected the numbers.
Posting it as of what year it's going to, not.
Yeah, so if it comes in like an invoice from last year, if you're closing out those, if it comes in like in October 1st, it should be posted on last year's, not, because that's what we had an issue with last time, that it was being posted on the new year. So, okay.
When you say stuff coming in, what do you,
The
like,
invoices, like the work will be done maybe September 30th, and it belongs in last year's budget. But we're not getting the invoice from the vendor until.
so it hasn't been paid?
October 30th, so it hasn't been paid yet. When we're paying it, it belongs in.
She's kind of giving an example of that's what happened last year, is that we had some of the work that was done towards the end of the fiscal year wasn't invoiced until the new year started. So they were posting it on the new year, and I'm like, well, hold on, why are there's two here? And so it should be reflected on the previous budget, on the previous year. So it's just, I guess, better to wait until everything clears and then it's put in the right place, so we can see where we are, what our numbers were for last year, and then we can throw in all the new numbers. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm making sense or not.
Well,
And like
No,
the
the way,
it
the way
just-
I'm used to seeing it is like when a year ends, that you close the books.
Yeah.
And you start the new budget. Now, I mean, if we're doing any work, I'd tell them, hey, you need to hurry up and bill us because we're gonna.
Yeah.
It's just like our checkbook, you know this, you spent that money, so it should be, you should have
Yeah.
a ledger saying, hey, this is it.
This is accounting.
Exactly. So why
Yeah.
we gotta wait for it to clear?
Well,
That's what I'm
I
saying.
don't make sense. I know
Well,
what you're talking about.
It's not that the check's not clearing, it's that the invoice hasn't been received.
What
The
that,
contractor does the work
But
and
we-
he
but
doesn't
it's spent
invoice.
already. The money is spent. That's what I'm saying.
No.
It's been approved.
It's
yes.
been approved, but it hasn't technically been spent because we're not gonna write the check until we get the invoice. So if the work was done in September and we don't get the invoice until October, well, that has to be reflected on the previous year's budget, not in this year's
No,
budget.
no,
So
no, no.
No,
That's-
because,
No.
because,
No.
no, because when the
No.
new budget starts, all the numbers should be in there for the new.
Exactly. You spent, because
You don't wait.
Yeah.
You
you spent $100 on something, that's gonna be at the,
Now, it could be that if you're doing work, then you need to tell them, hey, you need to hurry up and bill us because we're closing our books at the end of this month and you want to get paid.
No, the auditors, they'll adjust for that. They want to see what invoices we paid in October. Because if it's anything for stuff that was actually like September stuff, they'll move it, they'll treat it.
but you said the magic word, it's invoiced already. You already invoiced it already, so it's gotta be accounted for.
Yeah.
Right? If it's invoiced already,
Right.
it's accounted for.
but that's,
So-
No,
that's,
because the vendors, they're the ones that are gonna send that invoice to us. We have to wait on the bill once we get the bill in, it needs to be
I mean,
dated as September.
but-
If it was for-
but we're just not doing projects and waiting for
Yeah.
somebody to send us a total amount. We know what, right? We know what we're spending on.
Exactly.
Well, we know what the estimate is because we do, like, for example, right now, we have the guy that's working on some sewer issues over there where your apartments and your house is at. So we know what the estimate is, but if something comes up, I mean, we're not gonna pay him until he gives us an invoice. And so, like, they were fixing it, they found a water leak. So they had to fix the water leak, before they could keep going. So the estimate that he gave us wasn't really a good estimate because then he had to give us, basically adjust the estimate because of the water leak. So, and then once he gets done with the job, I don't know how quick that company is as far as invoicing. I know some companies will invoice right away. They'll send the invoice right away. But I know that last year we had some issues where, I was sitting down with Sal and going through invoices and looking at the accounts payable report and going, well, this work was done like last month. Why are we just, or even like a month and a half ago, why are we just getting, well, they didn't invoice us until now. So, we're not going to pay it until we receive the invoice from the contractor.
In
So,
order to put it in our system, we put it in bucket with an invoice number. And that will help identify if someone emailed us the bill, then they paper send us a bill, to know that that's a duplicate. It will flag it in the system of you're putting a duplicate invoice number in.
So let's say that we do it the way that you're representing right now. So at the end of the day, it should balance out every month anyway, or every year. It should balance out. So you're gonna carry and then you're gonna carry and then you're gonna carry. It should balance out. I don't see why wait. I mean, we approved the new budget.
The auditors will make the adjustment in
Yeah.
the
But
year
we want to
anyway.
limit the amount of adjustments the auditors are having to make, because that costs more money.
I mean, is it that much? Is it that many?
There's like 67 journal entries that need to be made for the 2021 audit that I can't put in because Encode is closed. There's 67.
Yeah, that's one
Yeah.
quarter. That's
But
one
eventually
quarter.
it won't be.
Eventually, we want to get that.
Yeah, eventually we won't be.
Yeah, but we're losing a whole quarter of budgeting by the time we input our
Well,
numbers.
When those, because when those expenses are being made, the thought is, it's like, this belongs to last year's budget.
Okay.
Can't you just make the check? The job's done. If.
I know, right? Well,
not until we get the invoice. I mean,
Yeah, but what are the chances of them
It just-
not sending an invoice and then
But
we
sometimes it's
pocket
just,
money?
but it's like you said, it's just an estimate. What if they say, well, it's gonna, what if they quote you 12,000 and then if they found something else and it comes up into 13,000, if you need to check the 12,000.
Oh, yeah, but that's, you're gonna do an addendum.
well, the
How many
issue,
jobs?
some of the issues, and in this, she just mentioned it real quick, or briefly, is that sometimes they will, go ahead, hold on. They will send us, they were emailing Sal the invoice, but they were also mailing an invoice. So Sal would give them the invoice to enter it into Encode, and then all of a sudden, we get another invoice by mail, and they were like, well, hold on, that we just entered this invoice. That's why she's saying that we have to wait because we use the invoice numbers to identify, so there's no duplicates in there. Because if we were just doing it on pencil and papers, you might send 2 checks to the same contractor, and what are the chances of getting that money back? So, I mean, I try very hard. I try very hard because Sal,
All right.
he was getting a lot of the invoices emailed, but she wasn't being CC'd in it. And it's like, she's really the one that handles the invoices. And if Sal didn't, he'd look at the thing and he would get so many emails. Sometimes he'd say, hey, did we pay this invoice? And say, well, I haven't gotten it yet, so I think we're trying to.
And I'm dealing-
There's so many invoices that are like really small, like the ones we get from True Value where it's like $2.50.
Oh, those are different.
$8.
We're talking about big numbers here.
Yes, sir, Robert.
Well, quick question. So the repairs that were done on tanker were done end of September.
All right,
So
thanks a lot.
we just got invoice maybe last week or the week before. So would that come out from our new budget for the new fiscal year?
You see, it should come out from the old.
It
Yeah,
should be.
exactly.
That's what we're trying to explain. That's
If
kind
they're
of
doing
the,
what they're doing, then it'll come out.
that's the issue that we run into when
but-
work gets done towards the end of the fiscal
But
year,
it's,
so.
it's really not,
No.
it's really not a budget, it's gone. There's really nothing there. I mean, all you're doing is,
I think if it's, the job's done.
Yep.
That we should already account
Yes.
for it. And I agree with Jesse.
Yeah.
That you should do a line item and say, hey, this money's still floating around because they haven't completed the invoice, but the job's done. They're gonna want their money eventually.
Well, that's why we're talking about, that we wait until everything is cleared, all the invoices have cleared for the previous fiscal year, so I make sure that, that they're placed into the right fiscal year, because there was a lot of issues in Encode like that when I first came in that were found, and she still finds some, as they're working through with the CPA, with the accountant for the audits that they're working, where there's issues like that, where things were invoiced, but they were placed in the next year's budget when it should have been on this year's budget. So that's something she's trying to work with the CPA to try to get corrected for the audits. But I mean, the way we're doing now is
Well,
just
I got
basically,
a question. Okay, I get a check for $150. I don't cash it for 2 years.
well,
What are you
that,
gonna do?
well, that doesn't matter. We're not talking about checks, Jesse. We're not talking about the
That's
checks
it.
that we write.
Right.
We're talking about, we're waiting on invoices to clear because we've had work done, but they haven't invoiced us yet. Like the chief just said, he had work done in September and he just got the invoice that we're already in November.
Invoice date for the date that sent the invoice.
But pretty much it was that pretty close to that number, right?
It was approved.
Yes,
but we're.
yes, that's what I'm saying. It's approved. And you got a tally on it.
But what are we doing? I mean, it's really, do we have money like saved over there that we don't know and we're gonna pull it out?
Exactly,
No.
exactly.
It's the same money, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's the same, so right,
Like there should be,
so if I was to ask you right now, okay, we already ended last year's budget. How do we end up? We don't know.
We
We
should
do.
know, because
we
if we're gonna have a
don't?
running tally, we say exactly know, like, okay,
We
we're gonna,
don't.
your fire truck is 12,000, boom, 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 boom. And then when you get then you.
It's more of a communication
Yeah.
issue.
Yeah.
and we do purchase orders, but they don't.
I guess that's it, purchase orders,
So we
right?
don't have like a way, I guess, to track the purchase orders in the system without like.
Yeah, I
like a
guess that's
manual
probably what I
tab.
did.
Yeah.
Now,
Encode does offer a purchase order system, and then there's also other ways.
now, if,
Other
I think
softwares
that
to create.
once the proposal's given, the job's done, then you account for that money for whenever it was actually decided on. If they come and say, hey, well, we're gonna charge you $1,000 more because it was, then tell them to send another invoice. And if it lands on the
Yeah.
other fiscal year, then you count it on that fiscal
Yeah.
year.
So I don't think,
That's totally different. Now they're amending the job.
yeah, I don't think that we're talking about, I mean, I think we're all talking about the same thing, but it's not being, if we have work that's been done, like what the fire chief is talking about, that was done, it is on the previous fiscal year. But that money's already been allotted, but we're not gonna write the check until we get the invoice. So just say he gets an invoice, but he forgets to turn it into the city for 2 months. We're not gonna pay that work, even though we know, okay, the work was done. We're gonna be harping on the chief, hey, where's the invoice? Where's the invoice? Where's the invoice? Until he comes and turns it in, then we'll write, it might be 2 months later, and I'm not saying that you do that, but I'm using you as an example. So, we're paying it, but it has to come out of the previous fiscal year. That money's already allotted for the work,
So
Yeah.
so we have money put aside somewhere?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's what we're talking about. You can't close out the previous year's books until all those invoices have cleared. Then we clear out those books.
Okay, it's-
And then the new
what
budget gets thrown
What we're
in.
saying is, I think what we're saying is, we need to tighten that up.
Yes.
We need to tighten that up, and you know what, when
We keep
our year
a
ends,
better track of our purchase
yeah, our
orders.
thing ends, our new budget starts.
Mhm.
And we have to communicate that either to whoever contractors we're working with or whatever, because there's too many floating parts right now. And we can't answer how we ended, or the mayor can't answer how do we end the year up in our budget? We don't know.
Then, like I said, we gotta wait for an invoice.
We gotta wait,
Wait.
we're waiting. What are we
And
waiting
then the
for?
Whoa,
CPA
yeah.
gets mad at us too, then like,
What are we waiting for?
Well, I can tell you that we've come a long way from where we were
And I
before.
know we have.
Yeah.
And I
I know
think
we
that
have.
she's done a great job in setting up the system.
I know
So we
have.
make
I'm just
sure,
saying, let's just,
um,
if we can, let's tighten up the belt a little bit and try to get on track with.
Your main thing is when it lands, when the check is cashed. Is it gonna be on this fiscal
And
year
it's
or
not when
this?
the check is cashed, it's whenever the check is written.
It's
The
written,
city
okay.
writes the check. We did write the check, and then maybe for, September stuff, or. I was saying, you may not cash it until, February.
Right.
That number is still, that check is still coming.
Because if you ask the CPA, what would be the best for those people that are not turning in their investors? Just ask them, like, for scenarios.
Part of it's the timing. Like for the water stuff, or the water, the paper, from the public. There should be every month.
So we know that.
It's like delayed or something happens where the water bill will be put in, 2 water bills will show up in 2 months, and in 1 month, they would show up in, they didn't show at all. So instead of check out how much like they spend for our overtime, can't do it.
I'm confused. So I got a check. I got that money, so I spend it.
yeah, well, it's not so much, again, it's not about the checks, it's more about when their invoices, they don't necessarily do it on a timely manner. Quarterly administrative reports regarding administrative activities, thank you, Chief.
So based on Steve, I'm gonna repeat it, based on those, or
Yeah, they can't do the reconciliation because it's a conflict, and they can't do that part, it's either our CPA has to do it, or we have to do it, so, and they've already told us that they would like us to do it, so, that's what they're working on, so. It's, I saw the lights coming in, yeah, they don't know if there's anything. I thought. All I've seen lights on were the high school. Huh? Oh, there's. It's so easy, it's.
we're working on getting some software, that software's gonna allow, people to check in on their phone.
We had a scenario where Donna was telling me that when the office is closed, she wants to come in and she can't clock in, right? Is that correct, Donna?
I don't have to do that anymore. Before, when I was hourly, I needed to get in.
Hold that thought.
Mhm.
Hold that thought. Hold that thought.
So what do you mean, so what are we, are we waiting on the software, or the software's here, or?
We have to get with, Encode's gonna build it for us. And this was a part of the original plan that was put in place with all the other things that we implemented.
Okay,
But Sal had decided to push this one back because we were dealing with everything else at the moment.
okay. All right.
All right. So I think we're, go ahead.
There was the open house, public input on the city parking plan. I think that's happening.
I'm gonna get with, Kat, and I'll get a date.
Sending title information to Alco, to auction surplus vehicles. So we're planning on auctioning off the surplus vehicles.
So do we send the titles?
Just sending titles, so I'm assuming we sent the titles. But I'll double check on that.
Well, he's not too far away. He's just in Aransas Pass, so we can go hunt him down. Epi works in Aransas Pass. Epi can hunt him down for
Here's a
us.
list, what to do. Here's your list.
All right,
There's only about 100 meters left that need to be installed for the residents.
what are we doing with that?
I know the guys have been working on it whenever they get a chance. Those 100, some of them may be ones that people don't live there anymore. Leave them in a livable place. Some of them, they're still having to try and locate for the meters.
I talked to him at TML, and he said that he's waiting on us.
Yeah, because we have to identify some of the ones that are not,
We need to work on getting the financing set up for the.
phase 3.
The larger meters, phase 3.
But they're resident, aren't they the same?
No, not the ones for like
But
the
it's residential.
restaurants and, yeah, they have the bigger lines. For commercial, they have the 2, whatever, the lines are bigger. But the residential ones, we have a lot of houses that are not livable, you know
Yeah.
which houses they are. Well, we're not gonna go and spend money in replacing those meters if nobody's living in the house, it's abandoned. But there are some houses in that the meters are buried underground, so they had a metal detector, but it wasn't charging or something. It's an old one, so I told Jerry to look for one that we could buy, so they could start going and trying to locate these old meters with a metal detector and flag them or something, so we can
Okay.
get that done.
All right.
And also speaking about that, the Commissioner Gonzalez is, we kind of contacted him because and this wasn't, I think it was prior to him being elected, but a lot of the cutoffs that are in the middle of the road have been paved over, especially out there on Cooper Road. So he said he would help us locate them and, dig them up. So he was out there last week, I think it was. Was it last week that the commissioner was out there trying to help us find a cutoff? I think it was last week because I think it was when we were over there because I was talking to the guys on the phone. So there's, I think there, and then I think there's on Main Street also. I think there's some cutoffs there somewhere that have been kind of covered over.
Okay.
And the other project that Sal had left is he was trying to get the city divided into different 4 or 5 areas where we could have a main cutoff. So if we had to cut off for a huge water leak, we could go and just cut off that part of town instead of, because unfortunately the way that our system is, and I think probably Councilman Huerta and Ms. Veit can attest to this, the water lines are so weird that even though you cut the water line over here, there's still water that comes around and it works its way back to the,
Loops
to where-
around. Wow.
so it's a kind of a loop. So you have to cut off 3 or 4 cutoffs just to isolate one area. So Sal was working on that to try to have an isolation valve where we can just cut off one side of town if it's necessary, instead of going in. Because I think we had an issue last week where Jerry was like, well, we're gonna have to cut the whole city because the cutoffs aren't working. Some of them are they just spin. So I'm like, no, please don't cut off the whole city, and I think the school even left early that day because they were told that we're gonna cut the water off, and we didn't have to after all. But I think Councilman Funko went over there and he did the sign of the cross and blessed it and whatever. So we didn't have to cut the whole water thing. They were able to do it while it was live. So that was another project that I was working on. So, hopefully we can keep up with that.
What happened was, back in the day, and I don't know if they still do it now, they piggyback off a meter next door, and that's why they have all this.
Well, yeah.
I've seen it, that they- Instead of like in Bethel Estates, instead of hiring to bore under there, or back in the day, they used to cut. They said, well, there's a meter here, and there's enough room on our side, we'll just piggyback from there over here. And that's what they do.
Yeah. Well, just like right there on where the taqueria is, the alley where Michelle lives, that alley right there, the cutoff for that is actually supposed to be out there close to on Cooper and where what's your road, Miss White? Church. It's out there in the middle of the road. But even if you cut that one off, there's another water line that comes from the front of the taqueria that still feeds that line. So you have to cut that one off too. It's just the system. So Sal was working with our previous water person to try to isolate, the city in 4 or 5 different areas so we don't have to cut everything off in case of an emergency. So.
Pumps, they're gonna be putting pressure out.
Yeah. Oh, that's another thing. Did Sal put that on there about the AEP and the new pole that's going to be going on?
You put water pump, electric upgrade.
Okay, that's it. Yeah, that's the electric
And the
upgrade.
installation.
Okay.
Part of the third phase, the commercial meters, that also includes, the ability for the guys to be able to drive by and read the meters.
Yeah.
Is that already paid for?
Or it would eliminate the drive.
Right. Eliminate the
But
drive-by.
that's already paid for, right? Or no?
That- That's on phase 3.
Okay.
So, but I think the way we budgeted last year, I think we're good. We might be even in a position, I think we talked about maybe now instead of financing, we might be able to just cover it instead of having to go through the financing. So we'll look at that and get back with them. All right. Anything else, ma'am?
If you list items like replace some of the missing street signs, install some new stop signs, and then intersections, Willis, Turner, and Bailey. Talked about earlier the municipal restroom, the ADA upgrade project, is done. and almost finished. The middle storage containers, the new top and sewer plant, we've already got those, right?
They got delivered.
For,
They were metal. They got delivered.
and then, we were working on the multi-use tracker things.
Yeah.
The lights,
Mhm.
the part.
Meadowbrook upgrade, the pump upgrade, and the water project contract. info. And I know I've gotten CC'd on an email from Marty.
Okay.
Give us a development contacts for info.
All right. So, thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that. We'll move on to item 3, discussion and action items Item A, discuss, consider, and take action to approve the minutes of the regular meeting held on October 7th. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of the regular meeting held October 7th, 2025.
Do you have a second?
Second. There is no correction.
Yes, ma'am. So I have a motion by Councilman Huerta and a second by Councilman Garza. We'll open up for discussion. Go ahead, Councilman White.
On Halloween in the park, it's typed on here for October 26th and it was the 25th. That's the one.
Okay.
What I'm adding to.
All right, so we have a motion to approve the minutes with change on the date for the Halloween in the park. Second by Councilman Garza. So we'll move on for a vote. Place 1,
Yes.
place 2,
Yes.
place 3,
Yes.
place 4,
Abstain.
place 5.
Yes.
Okay, item B, discuss, consider, take action regarding vacant position of city administrator. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion, we,
Um,
the position of city administrator vacant.
So I have a motion by Councilman Falcon. Do I have a second?
I'll second it, but on this item, being that it's regarding personnel, we can go under executive session.
Yes. So I have a motion by Councilman Falcon and a second by Councilman Huerta to take action regarding the vacant position of the city administrator. We'll go ahead and open that up for discussion. We will be going into executive session. If you guys want to stick around, we'll be right back. That is at, what's the date? What's the time? 8:18.